Alright, welcome to another video tutorial of creating a filter in FilterForge. On this episode, I'm going to be creating the T-square fractal. And this, from the Wikipedia page, is the fractal that we're going to be creating. Here, this is the T-square fractal. And as you can see, we start with a basic square, and then each iteration is replicating that square at each corner. And then next iteration, same, and then so on and so on. So we get something that looks like that right here. So I'll keep that for reference for a second. So once we're back in FilterForge, this is what we have started with. If you watch the other video tutorial, this fractal is very, very similar to the other fractal filter. I've already built this filter and I'll walk you through how to make it. First, let's look at it real quick. Got one control here, and that's the iteration. And one iteration, of course, is square. At 2. Got it at each corner. If we keep replicating, we'll look at the sample real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're at 4 iterations. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you compare this one with the FilterForge result, and it's similar. We're almost exact. So we'll keep going. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 iterations. There's 6. We'll look at our sample again. And if you could see, ours is similar. So we know we've got it right there. On ours we can move a little bit more iterations and see some more cool results of what this looks like. On this, if you don't like the way this looks, you can turn off the anti-aliasing to off. And it won't draw this again, it'll just keep this right there. Alright, we know we're on the same page as the Wikipedia information. So now I'll show you how to build this filter real quick. So you can create a new filter. I'll edit this filter since I made it already. And we're actually going to start with our polygon component. As you can see, radius is of our square. Well, actually, first you want to go to your sides and make it 4. And radius is 69. Everything else is 0, except inner corners is 100. You can also put it at 0. So pretty much everything's 0 except radius is 69. and size is 4. And color is black, background is white. On default, this is no background. The alpha is at 0. So if you click on the color, you can go to A, which stands for alpha. Slide that all the way up to 255. And just click OK. So now, to start, you want to grab your loop component, which is under Components, and then Advanced. You can just click on one of those. And then you want to click on Accumulated. And that'll bring your accumulated component up. And again, as I said in the other video, this line represents that this accumulated component is associated and used with this loop component. So once you have that in place, we're going to add a lookup component and 2 profile gradient components. And the first profile gradient component is the profile is at 0 degrees in rotation. And the next one is at 90 degrees. And we're going to be, the repeat on both these gradients is 2. This is going to be our multiplier. So as you can see, on my example, in the accumulated, this is what it looks like. But when you actually multiply it, there's now 2 across, 2 bottom, so that's 4. So these are pretty much what the lookup component and profile gradients do, as they'll multiply this by 2. So once you have that in place, don't forget to attach your accumulated component to the source on the lookup component. And now you want to connect or add a blend component. And this is where the lookup component will be attached on the foreground, and our polygon will be attached to the background. And the blend component, you want to set the mode to darken and the opacity to 100. Now you want to attach the blend component to the loop. And you can add your slider control. You'll find that in the controls section on the components list. And you can set, once you select your control, you can have your max value at or 15 or something, because it doesn't look that good once it gets past like 13, 14. And now you can set your value for your slider at 9. just to compare what I have. And select the loop component. And you can check your preview window. See if it looks the same. If not, you can go back and go through this video again. You can add this threshold if you want. I just actually added it here so I can add a little bit of color. So if you go, let's go to the spectrum. Add your threshold. Your threshold, you can have that at 100. Smooth, you can have that 0. And your spectrum color, you can add to your high. And it'll just give you a little bit of color to mess with. You don't do this for, you don't add color to all things this way. I'm just messing about with this part. And that's, and don't forget to go up to filter, edit info. You can name it whatever you want. Just click OK. Save your filter. And now you have your box fractal. The other interesting notes about this method is if you go up to your polygon, you can even size it. You can get different looks on it. Rotate it. You can kind of get different looks of different type of fractals based on the same one. So this is another something else kind of fun to play with on the loop component. And from here you can even add different shapes to see what you can get, what you can make out of it. So you can even reverse it. You can get all kinds of cool, crazy things out of this method. Even just this shape, let's see. So you can watch it grow. But that's it for this one. So keep on forging.